All right, everybody, how are we doing today? Steve Mingleco here. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get started freelancing. So, if you're looking to make a little bit of extra money, if you're looking to break into a new skill set, if you're looking to kind of work with businesses more and more, starting freelancing is a great opportunity. You do not need to dive full in and make it your full-time job. But you do need to dedicate some time to doing the projects, finding new customers, delivering the projects, all the things that need to be done when you are a professional freelancer. So, the first thing I want to talk about is know your skills. Now, this is where some people spread themselves too thin. You're not going to be able to be a web developer, a graphic designer, a Google PPC expert, a social media marketing manager all day one. You kind of have to find your niche. And what we've done, although we do offer a lot of those services, is we focus in on web development, web design, web development, because ultimately that's where people see their product, they get it, they're happy, they're not happy, we make the changes, and that's that. When you get into marketing, you're often going to find that you're expected to meet certain requirements, benchmarks, sales numbers, and that gets a little more difficult to balance. Whereas web development or graphic design, it's kind of like we're happy or we're not happy. So just find what is your skills and try to specialize in that. Again, it could be web development, it could be digital marketing, it could be SEO, it could be graphic design, but find one niche for your freelance and try to stick in that. And then as you get bigger, you can try to take on other responsibilities of a business and offer more services. Whether, again, you can see here we have mobile development, business advertising, graphic design, um, some security stuff, and some even virtual reality we're moving into, and some of these newer technologies like augmented reality. But really, if you're going to start freelancing, find one niche that you're good with and grow from there. So, the second part of starting freelance, I would say, is know your customers. Now, I put customers into three different areas, and you could probably break it out from there. But you have basically your friends and family, which are often the place you'll get started first, because these are people who need your service or need help, and often you might not be making as much money. It might be taking more time, but ultimately, being able to help friends and family will get your foot in the door. It is something to start with. You don't have to be perfect when you're working with friends and family, or hopefully you don't. Hopefully they're pretty understandable. But it's a great way to get your foot in the door. The second one I would say, and this is kind of the next step here, is working with small businesses. So small businesses could be just your local coffee shop. It could be, the restaurant down the street. It's any type of business that is not over maybe 10 employees and maybe making less than a couple million a year. So know your customers, and that takes me to my third business, which would be large business or corporations, enterprises, these big companies out there. Now, a lot of times what you'll find with the big companies is they have an internal team. They have the funding to hire somebody who just does a graphic. They have the funding to hire somebody who just does their web development. They have the funds to hire somebody who just does their digital marketing or Google ads. And finding those big firms is going to pretty much be your last customer that you get to. Again, start with friends and family. If you could move into small businesses, that's where we do a majority of our customers, our small businesses. And then if you find one or two big enterprises, maybe you could take on a few more employees, get some extra help that's able to grow these large companies with all of their digital needs. So let's go into the third part of getting started freelancing. And basically that would be to know your rates. What are you charging? How much time does stuff take? What kind of profits and margins are you making off of this freelance income? Because it's very easy to find yourself in a position where you've underbid yourself and overworked. And that's a lose-lose. You do not want to find yourself in that, and it can happen quick. So try to have better understanding of your skill set, how much time these tasks are taking you to complete, and how much profitability you are actually getting when all said and done. Because again, this is something you're getting into freelance to make more money, to grow yourself, your skills, your connections in the business world. And knowing what you're making is very important. In the USA, it is hard to live on less than $40,000-$50,000 a year. But there are people in other countries, such as India is a huge one, Eastern Europe, that will do a lot of these services for less money. However, they have different business understandings in their cultures. Their times are different. And ultimately, a lot of businesses, especially more and more these days, want to work with local developers, local web firms, local freelancers, because they want that security of knowing that somebody's there, somebody's responsible, somebody's going to answer their phones. And that really comes with working with a more local type company. So just know your rates, make sure that you're staying profitable, because if you start to get yourself in a position where you're losing money, it's all in vain. This isn't worth it. You need to be making profit. You need to know your rates. You need to know how much time stuff takes. So this will take me into my fourth point, and that is be consistent with your customers, be consistent with your time frames, be consistent with your deadlines. If you tell somebody that their website's going to be launched on the 1st of July, you better have that website launched on the 1st of July. Put in the extra work, put in the extra time, do whatever it takes in order to allow, the business to work with you. Make deadlines. Always hit your deadlines. Always be consistent with people. Always let people know that your word is going to matter in the end. And that goes into my fifth and final point, which would be quality over quantity. Now, this is very important, because what happens a lot is people think that they can go freelance, and ultimately their quality of their product does not meet the business's need. So if you're going to take 10 different things, make sure you're able to produce quality for each and every one of those projects and each and every one of those customers. Because what happens often is you find yourself not meeting their expectations, especially when you're new to freelancing. You'll learn this as you kind of go, as you start to get feedback. But always try to take quality work or produce quality work over producing the quantity of work. So guys, that kind of wraps up how to get started freelancing. I advise anybody interested in making additional income, anybody interested in gaining more business connections, anybody interested in growing their skill sets, to start freelancing, at least to a small degree. These are all skills that are going to be used in the real world. They're going to be used in growing your own little freelancing niche. And they're going to be very valuable. So people need these skills. They're looking for web developers. They're looking for graphic designers. They're looking for people who have these services. So let's just recap right now. Number one would be know your skills. So whether it's web development, graphic, SEO, know what you're doing. Number two would be know your customers. Whether it's friends, family, small businesses, or corporations, know the people that you're working with and how you can best help them meet their business needs. Number three is know your rates. So know how long things are taking you and know how much to charge, because all of that is, at the end of the day, how you can make this sustainable, how to pay for yourself and your family and things like that. Number four, be consistent with deadlines, be consistent with phone calls, be consistent with meetings. Never show the customer that you are not always on top of your business or your freelance. You're always there for them. Answer their calls. Don't ever make them feel like you're not reliable is the word, freelancer for them. And they will love you for it. Trust me, too many people go missing in action. And I get this all the time where people are like, I don't know what happened, but my guy's gone, the website's not there, and I'm in trouble. I get that a lot. And fifth and final would be quality over quantity. So whatever you are producing, guys, make sure it's the highest level of quality, because ultimately you're reflecting their business. They want their business to be shown to the world in good faith. So, guys, thank you for staying with. Give a like, give a subscribe. That stuff really helps. And stay tuned for the next video coming soon. Peace.